We're on campus here in Hokes, Bluff, Alabama with the legendary Coach Rob, and Coach, football season's back upon us. You guys were able to play Westbrook in a Jamboree game last week, and Coach, just kind of take us back to last week when you guys got to play Westbrook in that Jamboree game last week, what it looked like.
Well, anytime you go against Steve Smith, he's gonna make you do things the right way, and he did. His team's much improved. I give him a lot of credit. But as far as our guys go, I think we competed well. It's a Jamboree, so we didn't do everything that we'll do during the regular season from the standpoint of offensively, defensively. We kept it pretty simple, but we got to see some guys. We got some new faces, lost some good players, these new faces, so we got something out of it.
Coach, what are you looking for your guys in a Jamboree game? I know number one thing is you want to stay healthy. Number two, you want to see some guys compete. What is your overall thoughts about Jamboree?
You nailed it. You don't want to stay away from injuries, and we did. I think Coach Smith got a couple of young guys hurt, unfortunately, but we want to see guys compete. You can beat on each other, and when you see them compete against a different school, sometimes some kids go down the wrong way, some go up, and we got to see a couple that we could evaluate.
Coach, how do you approach a week like this? Not only are you playing a rival, it's on a short week on a turnaround, and you got to sit there and face a team you're super familiar with in Southside on a short week, a rival. It's a lot of factors coming into this.
Yeah, that's right. It is a short week, and we used to play Jamboree on Thursday, but we just decided to play on Friday. But yeah, it is a short week. Sunday was Monday, Tuesday is on a Monday, just a day early, and so I heard Coach Freeze talking about it a little bit this week. Auburn playing on Friday, so they've had to redo their weekly schedule. But that is a little bit. We're only going to go in pads one day this week. Probably needed a couple of days, but just trying to get the guys to recover from the game because Westbrook was physical the other night. There's some good leagues passed, so it's just a matter of adjusting to it. We've had good years on this kind of deal, and we've had some bad ones. So, but as we expect, Coach Miles, Coach Holcomb does a really good job at Southside, so we're expecting, a tough physical game.
Coach, when you approach a game like that, it being a rivalry, how do you keep the guys dialed in to the important little things that you got to get done to win a game?
Well, the season's a marathon. Every week's going to be a tough week. At schedule, we play in 4As. We've talked about that many times. Every week, but just trying to just get better and maintaining a level of consistency as far as attitude, conditioning, and all that coming into play here early in the year. So, I don't try to get too high, too low as a coach. I don't know our coaches, but every game's important. It's going to go a W or an L. So, also there are certain games. This is a big rival for sure, but Etowah's big next week, and then some White Plains. It's just no easy path there for us. So, but just being consistent in all aspects of what we do.
Coach, you used to coach there many years ago at Southside.
42.
42 years ago?
Yes, sir. It's a short time.
But you know that community really good.
Yeah.
How many handshakes and talkings do you get to do when you guys hook up?
Those 3 years were very good years for me under Coach Randy Ross. I still do some things that Coach Ross taught me 42 years ago. But I still got a lot of friends at Southside, a lot of former players. I get to see them out and around. They're old men now, like I am. I'm not much older than they are, but I still cherish those 3 years at Southside. The people were good to me down there. And really, I would have probably never left but for one place, and that's home, and that's Hokes Bluff.
Yeah, speaking of Hokes Bluff, Coach, before I get you out of here, a few more questions because I know you guys got practice coming up. Let's talk about the offense. Let's start with offense in this upcoming season. Just some of the guys you're counting on that you know is going to be leaders.
Well, Bryce Whitaker, Bryce well, player of the year around here. A lot of people thought and was in our county. Bryce is a tremendous athlete, level-headed, really has matured mentally as a quarterback, and so we're expecting big things. Then we go with our running back, Brenton Hale, who was the backup last year. But Brenton's got a little bigger, stronger, and hopefully he'll have a good year. Of course, when you run the pro eye, you better have an eye back, as you know. But up front is where we're really working hard to try to get better. We only got 2 returning linemen with our tight end. So we've got 3 guys to replace, and there were 3 all-county guys. So we lost really good football players there. So offensively, of course, we lost Anderson Morgan and Drew McCarver now become their go-to guy at receiver. Drew's had 3 good years. He started for 2 years. We expect big things out of him. So offensively, we're kind of coming together. Defensively, we've got a lot of new faces. We do. We lost, of course, Anderson in the secondary was our control guy back there. Linebacker-wise, Bray Davis has shown some improvement, inside linebacker. But up front, again, we're rebuilding up front because, like I said, we lost 3 all-county guys. So defense, we're really searching a little bit to find our identity. But we made some improvements the other night as the game went on. And hopefully we can continue to do that for next week, which will be the area play with Etowah.
Coach, special teams, always an X factor.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that bunch.
Well, we lost Leon Chen, who's probably one of the most consistent kickers I've ever coached here. We had a kid back in 2001, Denson, that went to Jacksonville. He's probably the best, obviously the best kicker we've ever had here. Went on to Jacksonville State and kicked there some, but Leon did miss for 2 extra points in 2.5 years. That's pretty good in high school. We kicked a lot of extra points, thank goodness. I hope we kick that many this year, Bo. but Alan Cox has stepped up. He's got a good, strong leg. Being consistent is what he's working on. Got our punter back, our snapper back, our holder back. So we should be experienced enough to be adequate there. So we'll just, time will tell.
Coach, final thoughts heading into this week with rival Southside.
Well, we play Southside actually for every other year, get that money, truthfully. I always like to say that, but it is our gate. Last year we made tremendous money. This year we got to go on the road. We haven't had much success lately down there, but Coach Hawkins back in town, coaching them again. He does a really good job. So we expect a tough game. Luckily it's not a region game, so we're going to get another game to evaluate for region play. I keep saying area, Bo, but region play next week. So we're just going to use this game. We got some new faces that we want to see. We may substitute more than we usually do once the season gets going because we really don't know. Like I said, the Jamboree showed us some, but not enough probably to know where we stand. But we'll see. We still want to win the game. We're going to play hard. It's a big game. Our kids really know a lot of the Southside players, so that always adds parts to it. But I think we'll be competitive. But Southside's coming off a tough loss to a really good Gunnersville team.
Yeah.
And, we still haven't played a full game yet. But anyway, hopefully we'll compete and learn something about our team.
Coach, appreciate you sitting in. We're looking forward to coming out here each and every week, and want to thank SNH Waterproofing and Construction for this opportunity to get to come out and film you guys. Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck.
I appreciate you coming on board with us, Bo, and sponsoring us. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Coach.